The Cincinnati Bengals will take on the Los Angeles Rams on Super Bowl Sunday, where the Bengals hope to bring home that Lombardi trophy for the first time in franchise history. Joining me to talk all things football is Super Bowl champion quarterback and NFL MVP Joe Theismann. Joe, it's great to meet you. Welcome to Yahoo Finance.
Thank you. It's great to be with you. I've been listening to the show. I love to learn and understand equities, and it looks like things are changing a little bit in the equities markets.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you are a fan of Yahoo Finance. We want to talk a little football, Joe, because we had such thrilling playoff games. And, I personally would love to see the Bengals pull this out, but I just really want to see a good competitive game. What's your pick for Sunday?
Well, first of all, I think your wish is going to come true. I think it's going to be very competitive. And really, when you look at the playoffs that we've had over the last 2 or 3 weeks, you have to think that this game is going to be that kind of a football game. I think it's going to be a very close game. The Rams are favored by 4.5. I don't think they can win by that many. I think it'll be a much closer football game. I am picking the Rams. This is the earliest I've ever picked a team. So I am going to go with the Rams in this one. I believe that they'll win, and I think they'll win by a field goal. So if you're a Cincinnati fan, don't get mad at me, because if the Bengals win, I don't think anybody would be surprised. I know it's their first opportunity. The Rams have been here just a few years ago and didn't quite get it done. So now they're back again to have another shot at the brass ring. But I think it's going to be a terrific football game. If any, like I say, if the playoffs are any indication of what we may see in this Super Bowl, it should be a classic.
For sure. Excellent matchup for sure. I want to stick with the Super Bowl for a minute, because I don't know if you know, this year is set to become the biggest legal gambling event in football history. People are expected to wager something like $7.6 billion on the game, Joe. So if you were playing today, how would you feel about people betting on you?
I wouldn't care. I mean, you really can't worry about what people are doing or betting on you or cheering for you. It's all about the teams going out there and doing the best you can to win a championship. You've invested so much time in this year, so much pain, so much injury, so much angst to be able to get to this point. All you could really and should focus on is winning a football game. And the reason why, you use the term legal betting, because we didn't have legal betting for so long. So we should be setting records all the time. People love to bet on football. And I do believe this, as a part of technology moving forward, I think we're going to see handheld devices in the stadiums in the not too distant future, where people will be able to bet whether it's going to be a pass or a run, or whether they'll pick up the first down or not, or whether the punt will be 42 yards or 47 yards. I think all those different propositions will wind up coming into the game as we move further and further with the development of technology in the world of gaming.
Yeah, technology has changed the game so much, Joe, since you were on the field. I think you're onto something there. Of course, you won the Super Bowl in 1983 with the Washington Redskins, now the Commanders. With the history you have with the team, did they consult you at all about that name, and what are your thoughts on it?
No, they did not consult me about the name, but I am fine with it. As a matter of fact, I raised a little bit of fervor a few days before the announcement when I said that the name would be the Commanders. I called 4 different people in the organization asking them, what's the name going to be? No one would tell me. So everybody says I leaked the name. I don't know how you can leak something you don't know. So I didn't have any idea what the name was going to be. I just like the Commanders. I think it speaks well to the Washington area, as we refer to it as the DMV, the District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia. And to me, it speaks to the Washington itself as a seat of power when it comes to the military, which I honor tremendously. And I think this football team has a chance to create their own legacy going forward. They'll never take away the championships we won as a Washington Redskin, and we have that as our legacy. Now it's a chance for these young guys to have a new legacy going forward. And one of the key elements to this change with our name is the fact that we kept our colors. We're going to be the burgundy and gold still going forward. So I think the fans of the history of the game and the history of the Washington, quote unquote, Redskins can still hang their hat on that. Now it's the new guy's chance to be able to create a new future.
Yeah, well said, Joe. Look, you suffered one of the worst career-ending injuries in football back in 1985 against the New York Giants. Here we are decades later, and the league still grappling with player safety, including the debate over brain injuries. What more do you think the NFL could do to improve safety for players?
I think the NFL is trying to do everything they can. You look at the rules; you get penalties now for hitting somebody too hard. They try to protect areas. They want to be able to protect it, but it's a contact sport. It's a violent sport. That's what it is, especially at the professional level. And you're going to have injuries. You're going to have injuries walking across the street. The potential is there. Not that they're the same, but I think the league continues to strive to make it safer and safer. The developments in the way they use to construct helmets now, the ability to be able to do that. And part of it's a darned if you do, darned if you don't situation, because if you make the helmet safer to get hit, that means you make the safer helmet to be able to hit somebody with it. But they'll continue to emphasize the rules. They'll continue to ask the coaches to emphasize the rules. They have a lot of meetings, not only during the course of the year in training camp, stressing exactly what they believe is going to be the right kind of hits and not. It's still going to be a contact sport. And I would hate to see the integrity of the game completely annihilated, because it's not touch football. It's professional tackle football. And we can continue to do the best we possibly can to be able to protect the athletes.
You know, Joe, when you see how much more QBs are protected today, do you wish you were playing now? It's a very different game than 40 years ago.
I'd still have my own teeth. Are you kidding me? No, no, so Joe, really. I think they reach a point. It's a little bit absurd. I mean, when a quarterback gets pushed to the ground, that is not roughing the quarterback. Okay. When you get your teeth knocked out, I didn't get a penalty when Byron Hunt took my teeth out. That to me would have been roughing the quarterback. But I think there are some rules that, I mean, they protect them. There's a degree I agree with, but it goes to a point sometimes where I just shake my head and say, wow, it's like they want to make it two-hand touch for the quarterback.
Right. I got you. I want to ask you, though, just sort of about the state of the NFL right now, Joe, because there have been so many controversies, plaguing the league, everything from race issues, sexual assault. There were even accusations this year about throwing games. What does this do to the NFL's image? And is Roger Goodell the right person to help the league navigate through all of that?
Well, I think there's a new set of circumstances now as we look at the league for Roger to move through. I'm not familiar with a lot of them. I really can't comment exactly on any of the things that you mentioned because I don't know enough about it to make those comments. I do know that the league will do everything it can to be able to make it right, to be able to be the diverse organization that they want to be going forward. And that hopefully the opportunities will be presented to everybody who is qualified to be able to be a head coach in the National Football League and some of the other things that need to be dealt with. But those are all things, I guess you could say, above my pay grade when it comes to the National Football League. But I believe the National Football League will be here and we get a chance to celebrate. I believe it's going to be an incredible football game on Sunday.
Hopefully you can watch it as a fan. Is it easy for you to watch as a fan? I mean, you're so close to the game. I'd have to think that's a little tough.
No, because I can't take the 23 years out of broadcasting out of me. And I bet you're the same way. When you happen to watch another channel and somebody talk about finance, you sit there and go, well, I don't know if I would have said that. Well, I'm not sure I would have said that.
Got it.
I sort of look at it as an analyst. I really,
sure.
I'll listen to the announcers and I'll say, that's a great point. And the other one was, well, what did they not tell me about this situation? So you can't take the analyst out of us, I guess you could say.
And I think that's a good thing. Although I don't know, my husband might think differently watching the news with me. NFL great. Joe Theismann, it was a pleasure. Thanks so much and enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the game.